There will come a quiet moment when the world around you seems unchanged, yet something within you will begin to glow differently. It will not arrive with thunder, applause, or sudden celebration, because the deepest transformations rarely announce themselves loudly. It will begin in silence, in the sacred corners of your spirit where exhaustion once lived, and from that silence a new strength will rise like dawn spreading slowly across a dark ocean. The people around you will notice it before you fully understand it yourself. They will linger near your presence longer than usual, searching for comfort they cannot explain, because peace recognizes peace even before words are spoken. Your scars will no longer feel like wounds hidden beneath your skin, but like lanterns softly guiding others through storms they believed they had to survive alone. Archangel Michael says that the tenderness inside you was never weakness, even during the nights you begged for relief while carrying burdens nobody saw. The heavens witnessed every silent sacrifice, every hidden tear swallowed before it reached your lips, and every moment you chose kindness while your own heart felt unbearably heavy. That unseen endurance became a sacred language your soul now speaks fluently. Some people will enter your life carrying invisible grief wrapped inside ordinary smiles, and they will leave changed simply because you listened without trying to control their pain. Your calmness will become shelter during someone else's chaos, and your words will carry warmth that settles into aching hearts long after conversations end. The comfort you once searched for desperately will begin flowing through you naturally, touching lives in ways you may never fully witness. Type Amen if you can feel this message settling gently into your spirit. There was a season when you believed your sensitivity made you fragile in a world that rewarded hardness. You watched others move coldly through life while your soul absorbed every emotion, every atmosphere, every hidden sorrow resting beneath human eyes, and there were moments you wished you could stop feeling so deeply. Yet what nearly broke you became the very thing heaven would later use to heal others. The loneliness you carried was never empty space. It was preparation, a sacred stretching of your spirit so you could one day hold the stories, fears, and grief of people searching desperately for someone who truly understands. Those silent nights formed compassion inside you with extraordinary precision, like an artist shaping light from clay no one else could yet recognize. My beloved child, the time is approaching when strangers will trust you with truths they have hidden from the world for years. They will feel safety in your presence because your spirit carries the rare fragrance of someone who has suffered without allowing suffering to poison their heart. That purity was earned through tears heaven counted carefully, even when you believed you had been forgotten. There is a reason your heart never became cruel after everything you endured. Something sacred protected the softness within you, preserving it through disappointment, betrayal, abandonment, and silent battles no one applauded you for surviving. That softness is now becoming wisdom, and wisdom spoken gently has the power to resurrect hope inside exhausted souls. Comment 333 if you believe your pain carried purpose beyond what you could see. A day will arrive when someone sits before you feeling completely lost, convinced they have no strength left to continue. Their voice will tremble beneath the weight of hidden battles, and they will speak as though darkness has already decided their future. Yet your presence alone will interrupt that despair before you even realize what is happening. You will not need perfect speeches or polished wisdom. The healing will come through the honesty in your eyes, through the calmness woven into your voice, and through the quiet understanding resting inside your spirit like candlelight in a midnight window. People are starving for authenticity in a world overflowing with noise, and your soul carries the kind of truth that cannot be manufactured. Archangel Michael says the compassion within you has become a bridge between wounded hearts and forgotten hope. Every painful chapter you survived expanded your ability to recognize suffering hidden behind ordinary faces, and because of that, your words now carry unusual depth. Heaven often chooses those who have walked through fire gently, because they know how to guide others without judgment. Even now, your spirit is changing in ways invisible to the human eye. Old fears are dissolving slowly, and the heaviness you carried for so long is beginning to loosen its grip because your soul is stepping into a different season. What once felt like endless breaking was quietly transforming you into someone capable of holding light for others without losing yourself in their darkness. Type, "I receive this peace," if these words are touching your heart tonight. The world has taught many people to hide their tenderness beneath armor, to silence their emotions, and to pretend they no longer care deeply. Yet you were never created to become emotionally numb. Your gift was always your ability to remain open-hearted even after disappointment tried repeatedly to close you forever. There were moments you nearly gave up on people completely. Betrayals exhausted your trust, silence wounded your spirit, and certain goodbyes left echoes inside you that lingered far longer than anyone realized, but despite all of it, love continued surviving quietly within your soul. That resilience is holy in ways you are only beginning to understand. My beloved child, there is tremendous power in a heart that still chooses gentleness after enduring sorrow. Such hearts become resting places for weary souls because they understand pain without becoming consumed by bitterness. The compassion flowing through you now was born from survival, shaped by grace, and strengthened through unseen spiritual growth. Soon your conversations will begin carrying unexpected weight. Simple words spoken sincerely will stay with people for years, and moments you consider ordinary will become turning points in someone else's life. You may never fully know how deeply your presence affects others, but heaven records every seed of peace planted through your kindness. Comment, light, if you are ready to walk into this new season with courage. There is something profoundly sacred about the person who learns how to comfort others while still healing themselves. You have walked through emotional winters where nothing seemed to bloom, where prayers felt distant, and where loneliness sat beside you like a shadow that refused to leave. Yet even during those silent seasons, your soul continued becoming stronger beneath the surface. The tears you shed in private were never wasted. Each one softened hardened places within you, teaching your spirit empathy deeper than words alone could ever create. People will one day feel understood simply because you know what it means to survive nights when hope felt impossibly far away. Archangel Michael says your voice is beginning to carry spiritual warmth capable of calming troubled hearts. Not because you are flawless, but because authenticity carries a frequency the wounded recognize immediately. People trust those who have suffered honestly, and your journey has carved sincerity into the center of your being. There are individuals preparing to cross your path whose lives feel unbearably heavy right now. Some are silently grieving dreams that collapsed without warning, while others are carrying invisible exhaustion no one around them notices, and your compassion will become a refuge they never expected to find. Through ordinary conversations, extraordinary healing will quietly unfold. Type Amen if you believe healing can flow through simple acts of kindness. You once believed your life was falling apart when certain doors closed unexpectedly. Relationships ended, plans dissolved, opportunities disappeared, and confusion wrapped around your spirit like thick fog covering unfamiliar roads. Yet many of those endings were not punishments. They were redirections guiding you toward the person you were always becoming. Had everything unfolded according to your original desires, your heart might never have expanded this deeply. Comfort rarely teaches compassion with the same intensity as heartbreak, and certainty seldom develops wisdom as profoundly as loss. The roads that nearly destroyed your confidence became pathways awakening your spirit instead. There will soon be moments where you recognize how perfectly certain painful chapters align to prepare you for the lives you are now meant to touch. The people seeking your guidance will not need perfection from you. They will need honesty, gentleness, and the calm strength that only emerges from someone who has survived emotional storms without surrendering their humanity. The light growing within you now cannot be forced or imitated. It has been formed slowly through endurance, humility, forgiveness, and countless silent decisions to keep loving despite disappointment. Such light carries unusual power because it was born naturally through lived experience rather than performance. Comment 777 if you feel yourself becoming stronger spiritually every day. A quiet authority is beginning to settle over your spirit. It is not the loud authority of control or ego, but the peaceful confidence of someone who no longer needs constant validation to recognize their worth. This inner steadiness will become deeply comforting to people whose lives feel chaotic and unstable. When others panic, your calmness will speak louder than fear. When someone feels unseen, your attention will remind them they still matter, and when hearts around you begin losing hope, your presence will carry the rare energy of reassurance. These gifts are not accidents. They are the result of everything your soul has endured and overcome. My beloved child, heaven has been teaching you how to carry peace into places filled with emotional noise. The lessons were difficult because deep wisdom is rarely formed through easy seasons, yet your spirit remained teachable through the struggle. That humility has made room for extraordinary grace to flow through your life. There will be days when you underestimate your impact completely. You will think a conversation was insignificant while another person remembers it as the moment they finally felt understood again. You will believe your kindness was small while someone else carries it like warmth through one of the darkest seasons of their life. Type, "Peace surrounds me," if your soul is receiving these words deeply. Some of the people drawn toward you in the coming season will not understand why they feel safe around you immediately. They will simply recognize something gentle and grounding in your spirit that allows them to exhale honestly for the first time in a long while. Your energy will remind them that softness still exists in a hardened world. You were never meant to become emotionally distant just because life wounded you. The world may have encouraged you to protect yourself through coldness, yet your spirit continued choosing empathy again and again, even after disappointment left deep marks across your heart. That choice transformed your pain into wisdom instead of bitterness. Archangel Michael says your life is becoming living proof that suffering does not have to destroy compassion. The storms you survived refined your soul rather than hardening it completely, and now your presence carries the quiet power of someone who understands both grief and grace intimately. This balance will help others believe healing is still possible for them too. There is sacred beauty in the way you continue loving despite everything you have endured. Heaven notices every gentle word spoken during moments you yourself felt emotionally exhausted, every act of patience offered while carrying invisible struggles, and every time you chose understanding over resentment. Those moments built spiritual strength inside you far greater than you realize. Comment, still standing, if you have survived seasons that nearly broke you. The future unfolding before you carries more purpose than you currently understand. Certain opportunities will appear unexpectedly, and conversations that seem ordinary at first will later reveal profound meaning. What feels small now will eventually show itself as part of a much larger spiritual unfolding taking place quietly around your life. There are people whose hearts are growing weary from carrying silent burdens too long. Some smile publicly while grieving privately, and others continue functioning outwardly while internally feeling disconnected from hope itself. Your words will become gentle reminders that they are not alone in their struggles, and sometimes that reminder changes everything. The comfort flowing through you now is not forced positivity. It is born from genuine understanding, from nights you cried quietly while still searching for reasons to continue believing in goodness. Because your encouragement comes from lived experience rather than empty performance, it carries unusual sincerity that deeply wounded people recognize immediately. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks. Your presence here already creates meaningful connection, and the light shared through these words continues reaching hearts searching for peace in difficult moments. Type Amen if you believe encouragement can heal hidden wounds. There will come a day when you look back on your hardest seasons with completely different eyes. What once felt like abandonment will reveal itself as preparation, and what seemed like endless delay will begin making painful but beautiful sense. The timing that frustrated you was quietly shaping your spirit with remarkable precision. You are becoming someone capable of carrying hope into emotionally dark spaces without losing yourself there. That ability is rare because many people either absorb the pain around them completely or avoid suffering altogether. Your soul is learning balance, learning how to remain compassionate while staying spiritually grounded in peace. My beloved child, your story was never meant to end in exhaustion. The heaviness that followed you through certain chapters was not your final identity, and the grief you carried was never the complete definition of your future. New emotional landscapes are opening before you now, filled with connection, purpose, and gentle restoration. There is healing taking place within your spirit even during moments when progress feels invisible. Old wounds are loosening slowly, hidden fears are losing power gradually, and your heart is learning how to trust peace again after surviving so much emotional uncertainty. Growth often unfolds quietly before it becomes visible externally. Comment 111 if you feel a new chapter beginning within your spirit. You were chosen to remind people that tenderness still matters. In a world overflowing with distraction, criticism, and emotional distance, your sincerity feels like fresh air to exhausted hearts. The authenticity within you creates space where others finally feel safe enough to stop pretending they are okay. The wisdom growing inside you now did not come from books alone. It was formed through disappointment, shaped through waiting, strengthened through forgiveness, and refined through seasons where you had no choice except to keep moving forward quietly. That kind of wisdom carries depth impossible to imitate artificially. Archangel Michael says the peace developing within you is becoming contagious in the most beautiful way. People will leave your presence feeling lighter without fully understanding why, because true spiritual calm reaches beyond language itself. Your soul is learning how to radiate reassurance naturally through the way you live, speak, and listen. One gentle conversation can alter the direction of someone's entire life. One moment of compassion can interrupt despair long enough for hope to return again, and one sincere reminder that a person still matters can become the reason they continue moving forward. Never underestimate the power resting quietly inside your presence. Type, "I choose light," if you are ready to keep spreading peace wherever you go. The storms you survived were not meaningless chaos. They carved deeper compassion into your spirit, teaching you how to recognize pain hidden behind ordinary smiles and how to offer comfort without judgment. Because of what you endured, your heart now carries extraordinary sensitivity toward the struggles of others. There were nights when your soul felt unbearably tired. You carried responsibilities quietly, fought emotional battles privately, and continued showing kindness while secretly wondering who would ever comfort you in return, yet even then, something sacred continued protecting the goodness within you from disappearing completely. The people drawn toward your life now are not arriving by accident. Many are searching for authenticity after spending too long surrounded by emotional emptiness, and your spirit carries the rare warmth of someone who understands suffering without glorifying it. That honesty creates healing atmospheres wherever genuine connection is allowed to grow. You are entering a season where your words will matter deeply. Encouragement spoken casually may become life-changing for someone else, and the compassion you offer naturally could restore hope inside hearts standing dangerously close to giving up. Heaven often works quietly through ordinary moments filled with extraordinary sincerity. Comment, "Grace found me," if you have felt supported through difficult seasons. Even now, unseen healing is unfolding around your life. Certain fears that once controlled your thoughts are slowly losing their influence, and the emotional heaviness you carried for years is beginning to loosen gently. Your soul is rediscovering peace not as temporary escape, but as a deeper way of living. There is profound strength in remaining soft-hearted after hardship. Many people allow pain to transform them into colder versions of themselves, yet you continued fighting quietly to preserve compassion inside your spirit. That decision shaped you into someone capable of guiding others through darkness with genuine understanding. Archangel Michael says your kindness has already protected people from despair in ways you may never fully comprehend. A calm word spoken at the right moment, a patient conversation during someone's emotional collapse, or a simple act of sincere presence can become sacred turning points in another person's journey. Never dismiss the quiet power carried within your empathy. The light within you no longer needs permission to shine. It survived rejection, confusion, grief, disappointment, and long periods of uncertainty, yet it remains alive, steady, and capable of illuminating paths for others now. What once felt fragile inside you has become resilient through endurance and grace. Type Amen if you are stepping into this new season with faith and peace. Soon you will realize that your greatest purpose was never about impressing the world. It was always about becoming a source of peace in a time when so many souls feel emotionally exhausted and spiritually disconnected. Your journey prepared you not for perfection, but for meaningful connection. People will remember how you made them feel long after specific conversations fade from memory. They will remember the calmness in your voice during difficult moments, the gentleness in your understanding, and the sincerity that flowed naturally through your presence. Such things linger inside human hearts far longer than achievements ever could. My beloved child, the compassion within you is becoming part of someone else's survival story. The encouragement you offer may arrive quietly, but its impact reaches deeper than you can currently imagine. Never believe your kindness is insignificant, because heaven often changes lives through the simplest acts of genuine love. And when the time finally comes for you to fully recognize the strength growing inside your spirit, you will understand why every difficult chapter mattered. You will see how every tear softened your heart rather than destroying it, how every painful ending redirected your path toward deeper purpose, and how every lonely night quietly prepared you to become light for others searching desperately for hope.